Check the hair.
The hair looks good. I mean, we're both between the two of us with the hair thing.
The hair is going crazy.
Yeah, I love it
for both of us. I mean, Ricky with the good hair.
I feel like Mariah Carey that I had to pick my side because the light and everything. Just want to make sure it's always filled. Do you want me to turn off the overhead?
No.
Just
I think everything looks just the way it should. I think it's all good. I don't know why this thing keeps showing me that it's clipping because it's not, but we'll figure that out later. The highs are down. Okay, lows are good. Maybe if I just turn down the gain a little bit. Okay, there we go. Yeah, now it's not clipping.
This one's all the way over there. I don't know.
This button over here is turned high. It looks like a button that's might be doing something. I don't know what though.
I don't do sound. I just make sounds. And I bring sound effects.
What's good, baby? How you doing?
I'm great. How are you? It's good to see you. It's been far too long.
It's good to see you too.
Welcome to my small but humble abode.
Very humble. I love it though. It's
like cozy.
This is the quintessential.
Oh, that is a New York radiator. So if you hear something in the back that sounds like someone like straining to take a shit, that is a radiator. You can only turn it off so much. Otherwise, like it still is just trying to push the steam through. So we'll do the best we can, but hopefully, do you think it's getting picked up?
No, it's not getting picked up.
I was like,
but I can hear it though.
Do you want me to shut the door? Because it's in the room.
No, you're not going to be able to hear it. These microphones. You can't, like, unless there's something coming directly into the microphone like that.
Okay.
Then you can really hear it.
Okay, great.
We need to hear the tonsils.
Okay.
What them tonsils sound
What them
like?
tonsils do.
What them tonsils
What
sound
that
like.
mouth do. I love it. Usually the first question I ask after, hi, what's your name? What that mouth do?
Valid.
Argue. That's what mine does.
Argue.
Argue.
Yeah, that's true too. The king queen of Hell's Kitchen
I call myself mayor of Hell's Kitchen because it's like you do a little political walk down the street and you shake hands, kiss babies, or kiss hands, shake babies, depending on the mood and the time of day. But I'm just a local homosexual player in the game. Of New York City. So
Just? You're only going to give yourself a just?
Well, one wants to appear modest.
Okay, well, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is a PSA because I typically don't do introductions.
Oh, wow. This the treatment.
Though this person
thank you.
could not go without one. She's a single mom who works 2 jobs.
Who loves her kids and never stops.
She is a Beyonce's most devoted votary. If you do not know, look that one up if you don't know it. She is the only man I will call mother.
Titles.
We've scheduled this on Saturday at noon because tomorrow during this time, she will be watching over her 50 children, ordering 35 pitchers of cucumber lemonades over the next 6 hours at Le Bon until she walks her way to battle him, somehow making it to 4 a.m. Monday morning to then run her ritualistic 5-mile journey through Central Park, which she did this morning. If there was a neighborhood king and queen voting of New York, and specifically the Hell's Kitchen neighborhood, you would have both.
I appreciate this.
I give you Ricky with the good hair.
Thank you so much. That felt like a gentle roast. I was ready to call shade on it, but it is all true. All everything you said in truth. Especially the ordering of the pitchers at Le Bain. That is
yes.
that is exactly how we met.
Yes.
Originally. And
indeed.
And I have carried the tradition and the mantle of ordering the pictures of cucumber lemonade on to this day.
Yes.
I call them now my purse. Because when I'm walking through, I lead purse first through the crowd.
Purse first.
People are always like, what is that? I'm like, it's my purse. I don't have time to tell them what kind of alcoholic beverage it is. I'm trying to get upstairs. Because the downstairs is so packed and hot and busy. I just want to get upstairs where it's the open air, where people are having a little bit more of a relaxed time.
Yeah.
And so I'm usually with 2 of these pitchers, my purses, running through.
That's hilarious.
Then I got to go, refill my purse.
Are you going to be there tomorrow?
The rumors are probably true. The rumors are probably true.
Shout outs to LeBron.
We love the standard resort, spa, bar, and grill.
Resort, spa, bar, and grill. That's, exactly where we met. I don't know what year, maybe 2018, 17, something like that, originally.
It feels like around 18, but like we really kicked it off in the 19.
Yes.
That was when we really like hit our stride.
Yeah.
And then the world shit the bed, and we kind of like...
And then we picked up again like 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah. But like, no, like even before that, because I think, Met Gala after party that year in 2021.
That was like the day that if I'm not seeing Ricky on a Sunday, I'm seeing him at the Met Gala after party.
And that was insane. Cardi B was like, it was her party that she was like hosting there, and it was the first Met Gala after lockdown. And the standard had been the spot for the Met Gala after party for like a while, but this year was because there were so few parties actually going on around the city because of all the COVID protocols. Everybody, and I mean everybody, went to the standard. And
yes,
I literally stood at the bar by Kyle, just refilling my champagne, and every celebrity came up and stood next to me. So I just got to talk to literally everybody, and then got to take pictures with the ones that like I was like, okay, like we got to make somebody jealous.
We gotta make somebody jealous.
Yeah.
Who'd you get a picture with that night?
Jacob Elordi, Billie Eilish, Janelle Monáe, Cardi herself.
I remember Billie was there. I was kind of like...
She was great.
Cute, dude.
She is beautiful in person. Those eyes are insane.
And she was fun. She was like dancing on the dance floor the entire night. She was like being a normal fucking celeb, because a lot of the celebrities that go there, they're like... They just hang out in their like little VIP area and shit like that. And then there's like the cool ones that kind of like roam and shit like that. But she was like dancing and
you have your Jared Leto's that kind of just like wandering through like a 18th century ghost, just like not looking in anybody in the eye, just being spectral, more of an aura than a presence. Yeah. And then you have people like Billie that are just like, oh hey, like blah blah blah. Who else?
Yeah.
I got I met Manu Rios for the first time, and then I saw him again when I was doing this Netflix thing in Vegas. And then Arya Stark, Maisie Williams. That was a big one. I was so excited to see her in person because I had met Sophie Turner, a.k.a. Sansa, at the Emmys after party in Hollywood for their final season. And I was just like, I was always... Arya was one of my favorite characters on Game of Thrones, and so just to see her like in the flesh, be like, you are so you really embodied that and executed it well, despite the bad writing of the last season.
You are a
It's gonna get old, but I'm sorry.
Oh gosh, no, you are crazy. You are an incredible movie and TV buff, like to a degree that is beyond my comprehension, even though I'm the actor. Yeah, I'm like, Ricky knows more about film and TV than I probably will ever know about film and TV, despite me being in the industry.
Yeah, we started going to movies together a bunch, lots of screenings and everything. I work in entertainment, very fortunate to say that, and but before any of that happened, I really just used movies and television as kind of an escape from, which was kind of like a not so pleasant childhood. And I would watch just all kinds of things over and over, and found the things that I loved, found little bits that like I would just start repeating out loud. And I thought that I was kind of like weird in that way until I, got older and then started meeting kids in high school that always just regurgitated lines too. And then in college, people have built their entire personalities around television shows and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, this is not so weird. This is not so like odd that I'm doing this. Like some people, you know, are book readers. I'm a book reader too, but not as prolific as I am with like film or television. So, which are more non-scripted film or television. I don't really do reality unless it's like it was RuPaul's Drag Race. But other than that, I just prefer to listen to other people's like thoughts and ideas about the human condition in that context.
Yeah, it's crazy how deep you go. I think you're like a really character-driven person in general and in life.
Thank you.
You know, and I think that's like where you really go, especially like, I mean, you give crazy good reviews about everything that you watch and see. And like you're just
for better or worse.
For better or for worse. And you're incredibly intelligent and good with your words. AKA referencing the mouth. The mouth will be running first. Yeah. That's what the mouth will do.
Exactly. Well, words mean things, and that has been one of my favorite phrases that I heard from one of my favorite podcasters years ago, and I just kind of like took that and ran with it because I'm like, yeah, if you say something, you should know what you're saying. It's an old adage, think before you speak, and a lot of people just speak before they think these days, and I don't know. I try to make sure that whatever I'm articulating is clear, coherent, and has some thought behind it because I don't want to get called out. The internet is vicious. So like the last thing I need to do is have people jump down my throat for something that was said.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're good at protecting. You're good at protecting yourself in that way for sure.
Well, yeah. I'll talk shit, but like I want to know what shit I'm talking before I talk it.
Yeah. Where's that come from? Where's that come from in your life? Like, where does that stem from?
I think early on, I got called out for not knowing something in English class. Like, I tried to like fake my way through. I was a high achiever in school, and I took like all the honors AP IB classes and everything. And I remember one time in Mrs. F's class, she and I are like, we're still talking. I can say that we are friends. I had kind of like faked my way through one of the books we were reading. I'm pretty sure it was The Scarlet Letter. And I fucking hated that book. I was like, oh my God, this is so boring. And she like called on me to answer something, and I like tried to like bullshit, and she like didn't humiliate me in front of the class, but she made the whole class. She made me an example of how you can't get away with just doing the Spark Notes or the Cliff Notes because you're not actually getting anything. So from there, I was like, I shall not be caught out here unawares again. So if I'm going to choose to enter my opinion into something, I'm going to know what the fuck I'm having like a valid opinion, because everybody's in this day and age is constantly saying like, oh, that's my opinion. Your opinion is not an argument. It can be completely fucking wrong, be not grounded in any fact. And when you're presented with the facts and shut down, that doesn't mean that you should go on just believing the incorrect thing. When presented with new and correct knowledge, adopt it. Grow as a person. Become a better individual and a smarter contributor to the mental processes of society. So, yes. Early trauma. That's usually how I'm like formed. Early trauma.
Yeah, you are. I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, you are a person that, exactly, like what you just said, you're a person that's constantly growing, especially when it comes to, you know, those aspects of your life. There's always like crazy stories of you, like people know you in the scene, in, you know, especially in like Hell's Kitchen, meatpacking, the clubs that you go to, because you're a big clubber. You like to go out.
I've been on a dance floor once or twice.
You've been on a dance floor once or twice. You love your nightlife. You love to play. Mm-hmm. You love to play. So we always got stories of people are like, yeah. I mean, Kevin Holloman for one of them.
Oh God.
You know, he'll be like, girl, you do not want to get on her bad side. She will let you know. With her words, and then she will beat your ass.
That's one thing. I can talk shit, but I can fight. So, that's fun to say. When I moved to the city in 2009, it was kind of right after the big recession that we had, that housing collapse and everything. So there wasn't a lot of like opportunity for me to actually be working in the field I wanted to. So I was working retail on Fifth Avenue. They would only give me part-time. And then I was cater waitering on the side, and then trying to go out and have a social life in this brand new city where I really knew very few people. And by the time like I started going out, I started making more friends. And then I used to go to these spots, and people would text me and be like, "Are you going out?" I guess they like my vibe or whatever. And so I would bring like a crew of people. It was one of those like jokes early on in my being in New York City of don't invite Ricky to a house party because he'll show up with 10 other people. Well, that actually worked to my benefit when I was going out in nightlife, because I started showing up to these places, and then the guys were just like, "Oh, you always have like a crew. Would you ever consider hosting?" So I started doing some like light hosting around the scene, and started doing it for various clubs and various promoters that existed, many moons ago, some of ill repute and and some, that are still really great people to this day. And I'm very fortunate for those opportunities, because it made me establish connections with people in nightlife. A lot of, producers, a lot of hosts, a lot of bartenders, a lot of dancers. And I am somebody that like, if I want to invest in time in you, I'm going to invest, and we're going to be friends more than just this. Like we're going to like be in each other's lives. And to this day, I still have really strong relationships and really meaningful friendships with a lot of people that I met in nightlife. And that has kind of carried on and been something that's just kind of been really nice to be able to grow into the professional side of my life. That's taken me a little bit away from there. But every once in a while, I'm fortunate enough to like host like a pride party or a big Halloween party. I call them doing the high holidays. No, not so much anything else. Like I compliments to everybody that is doing like the weekly, the more regular kind of like drag of it all, because that is a commitment and just a really, intense type of lifestyle. And that takes a lot of energy. It's not easy for what anybody thinks is just partying. The people that are doing it well are really knocking it out of the park with like their production and all that. But that's no longer what was serving me. And so, but I'm just still glad that I have these relationships and, can walk around the scene and still have people remember my name and stuff like that. Yeah. It's really nice. It makes this big city feel a little smaller and a little bit more, and makes it feel like home.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And like, it's kind of crazy how nightlife is that bridge to like, producers and like these people who work in the entertainment industry and stuff like that, which you're working in. Can we kind of just talk about that a little bit, like exactly what you're doing, so people can like understand? Like you produce like live shows and events and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
but you're gonna be able to describe that.
Well, absolutely. Obviously. But no, you make an incredible point about it being a bridge, because the way I got my into television is through going to a nightlife party. Now R.I.P. There used to be a hotel called the Hudson Hotel over on 58th between 8th and 9th, just right on the south side of the street, diagonal to the Time Warner Center or whatever, Deutsche Bank Center. Anyway, there was one night there in 2010 that there was this big party called Bloody Mary. And it was like kind of this convergence of all these different areas of New York nightlife. Like you had all these different promoters that were coming together to throw one massive nightlife party. And I was just like, oh, I got to go to this, because, I was going out to like the greenhouses, and I was going out to, Brooklyn, like, oh my God, what was that called? Jesus Christ, I forget the name of it. And just like all around the scene, I was bouncing around. So I knew all these different, Mr. Blacks used to exist back at the time. So we go to this party, we're having like a really good time. A couple of my friends see me and they want to like pull me over to go sit in Amanda Lepore's section. Amanda Lepore is the most famous transgender person on the planet, I think. She's been in David LaChapelle campaign. She's an icon. She's a legend. She's
fucked Kanye.
So supposedly, darling. Alleged. We have to say allegedly. Allegedly. And Amanda has always been sweet to me since day one when I met her, like in 2008. But this is like around 2010. My roommate at the time was like, I'm going to go home. Do you want to come too? And I was like, no, I'm going to stay and I'm just going to hang out. So my two friends pull me over to Amanda's section. I sit down next to this guy, and he looks at me and he's like, "Hi, I'm Jimmy." I'm like, "Hi, I'm Ricky." And he's like, "So what do you do in the city?" You know, there's "Hi, where do you live? What do you do?"
Classic.
Look, the three intro questions just to kind of like break the ice. And I'm like, "Oh, I live like in the Upper West Side, and I'm wanting to, I work in retail." And he's like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, I want to work in television production." He goes, "Oh, we should chat. I own a production company and I do entertainment management, like talent management." And I was like, "You're kidding." And he's like, yeah. He's like, "Let's have an interview. And if anything, I'll give you like a starter internship and we'll see how you do." And so we went to dinner. It was just very like a nice like business dinner after he got off work one day. Was like, "I'll start you off. You'll intern with my casting department," because he was doing reality-based casting. And then I did that for about 3 months and then got hired on as a casting associate for 3 months and then got promoted to office manager. And then I got promoted to be a segment producer on the show. And then from there, Jimmy Floyd gave me my first job in television. We worked on a talk show in the area. We worked on a couple of reality shows. And then from there, I made my transition thanks to my friend who worked there, Kelly Brown. She was my kind of direct report. She brought me over to Maggie Vision Productions, which was a documentary and live event production company. And that's where I got involved with working on the Espys, working on NFL Honors, doing documentary and docu-series, and then started to make a lot of connections up until I was working from them from 2015 to 2020 when the pandemic hit. Unfortunately, the company dissolved, and I've been freelancing ever since, but because I made so many connections in that industry, I've been able to go on and do produce on live events like the VMAs. I just recently did the Golden Globes. I still work with the Espys. I still work with NFL Honors. Have gotten to go to a couple Super Bowls and do talent flow there because of some really incredible people that, you know, see my worth and bring me on. And all of that, literally the first domino is deciding to go to this party with the nightlife people that I knew and loved and sit at Amanda Lepore's table. It literally is just like, that was the domino that sparked what has been a really, like, you know, blessed and privileged existence for the last 15 years.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's a crazy domino effect, but I can say that just happens so frequently, and I think that's why so many people are out so much, right?
People
like
are trying to network.
It's all like the networking, right? And like getting your face out there.
Yeah, you want to be seen, and but also that when it comes down to it too, like, don't be fooled. Like, I'm a good time gal, but I work my ass off.
Yes.
Like, I will go out. I will, like,
yes.
I play hard, but also I play hard, but also I work hard.
You're very, yes,
and that's
of course.
The thing that is, like, the most important to me. Like, if you're going to go and you're going to stay out and you're going to do that, you better show your ass up to work the next day. And you better start, you know, making sure that you're getting what you need to done. Because no one wants somebody that is going to, like, drop the ball. So that has been, I mean, and everybody's human. Everybody makes an error here or there. I know I'm not perfect yet, but but you know, you got to still just kind of, you kind of got to show up and do it. But like, I have, you know, I can just fully say that I have worked every avenue of this city. I've bartended, I've cater-waitered, I've done retail, I've hosted parties, I've worked in production, I've been a cycling instructor, I mean, you know, group fitness, all of that stuff. And there's no job that's like too big or small for me to do. But like, you do it all, and I think what really comes down to is, like, you know, making it work, showing up, doing your best, and also just treating other people with incredible respect and dignity, and those people will keep pulling you on. If you make sincere connections, you know, people are gonna want to see you win because they're gonna like being around you.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I think, ultimately what, like, it comes down to.
Yeah, I agree for sure. Like, if you're a cool person and if you're cool and you take care of your shit, people are going to keep hiring you. People are going to give you opportunities. They're going to see your worth. They're going to feel that worth. You okay over there?
My hair is like,
Well,
it keeps sliding down the hair.
Let's do a little hair check just really quick. I think I need to adjust mine just a little bit too. It's getting a little flat.
You look great.
Flattened out.
You look great.
Okay, so cool. So when are you making the jump into acting, Ricky? That's what we all want to know. I love you so much. You're so adjacent to it. You work in TV. And you have friends, so many friends that are on Broadway. Mm-hmm. And you care so much about that industry. And you're an incredibly deep person, like we've already talked about and established, and I know personally.
Thank you.
So when in the crap are you going to get into the frickin' acting industry?
You know, contrary to popular belief and to this entire setup, I actually don't like being in front of the camera.
Okay.
You
got to be like, you got to have a camera around you.
Yeah.
Though.
Not because I'm like afraid of it. I think again, this goes back to the words mean things. Deep down, and like not even deep down. I'm doing this in practice. I like writing. I like creating. I like crafting. And I think this is a twofold answer. One, the most important thing to me would be to have my ideas be explored, and I have written and am still writing screenplays, and I would love to see that executed through people that are insanely talented in the acting department, but my words making people feel things, because my entire intention on this planet is to make people feel comfortable and to make them laugh. And I'm always trying to just, find humor in situations and, make somebody feel a little bit lighter and easier, because I didn't feel that for 18 years growing up.
Yeah.
The second thing is, if I were to be in front of the camera, I would love to host. I want to be Graham Norton. Graham Norton, if you're watching this, I can be your Padawan. I will be your apprentice. I will join your side. I'm already there. You don't have to sell anything. I will fly to London, because Lord knows I love me some London, and I will work almost for free, but enough to pay bills. Because I think that he has the most intelligent and just relaxed and like smart approach to talk, and that is exactly what I want to do. I want to gather cool people together, and I want to pick their brains about the cool shit they've done, and I want to hear them tell their interpersonal stories about how they connect. Yes. I love reading memoirs from people that have lived incredibly remarkable lives, and I love hearing about how you can kind of connect the dots of like how these people have overlapped in time. Like, I mean, it's gonna sound very gay, but hi. I've recently read like Barbara Streisand's memoir, and I just finished Cher's. And I've read other things. Everyone calm down. But like listening to these incredible talents, these like monumental, iconic talents, talk about the things that they've done and like the connections and how their worlds overlap. It's just so cool to me. I was always that kid that was watching these people, and I was just like, that just seems really fucking awesome.
You'd be such a good host.
Thank you.
You'd be such a good host for the
Graham Norton industry. Again. Graham Norton.
Let's get it. Hey, let's get it to him. You got friends that know him? But how many degrees of separation are we from him?
Oh, we're actually we're not many, because I do know his like ex-boyfriend, and then I do know friends that are around. But I would love to like, that would be a trajectory that I would love to be on.
So let's get you there. This is the fucking start of it right now.
Yeah, producing on the show and then making it become like a reality. That's my dream.
No, you're gonna be the host. You're gonna be having your own show like that for sure.
A big comfy couch and me. Yeah, that's just great.
Oh, so it's a casting couch. What kind?
No.
Not the casting couch.
Not the casting couch.
So can we talk about how like you like to make people feel comfortable and laugh, right?
Yeah.
Because like, as we talked about, you are mother, and I'm gonna keep talking as I reset your camera. But like, can we talk about how that also coincides with the nightlife aspect and you going out, kind of like I mentioned in the intro, like you do have these babies and like people that look up to you, and you are their mother you know, it in that sense of what's the word that I'm looking for. I mean, shit. Maybe you are actually somebody's like real mother to them, like when they don't have one, because I know that a lot of people that you kind of, you know, take that persona for, right, has gone through a lot of the same things that you have. So, can we talk about how not only that outside of nightlife, but also within the nightlife community and shall I say more so the gay community? Correct.
I think it kind of they're interchangeable because so to clarify to some people, I am a biological male and I use he him pronouns. However, I think it's very fun to call people she. I literally call everyone she. And so when you're calling me she, they're probably like, "Wait, is he trans?" No. No, it's just but Kyle is Kyle's a strong ally and supporter, and he's allowed to adopt the lingo. But so I think that the whole term and the whole calling somebody mother has come from the idea of like we have like these chosen families of people that we flock to, again, meaningful connection of people where we come together, and there's certain people that are just more kind of like paternal. And I think I am the eldest of 4, growing up, and I was always kind of like a third parent to the younger siblings. And then when I left, I moved out. I grew up in Las Vegas. I went to school in Boston, then I moved to New York. And even in Boston, I was kind of like, I took on a leadership role of being like a student advisor. And there were like a lot of gay kids that would were in the closet and that would kind of like flock to me and be like, "Hey, like, what's up? What's the tea? What's going on?" And I would just, kind of like make sure that I would show them a path, because I didn't have that. I'm kind of this generation where like when I got to school, a lot of people were still like ashamed that they were gay, and everything was really kind of quiet. This is like 2005. We were kind of at the turning point that just a couple more years and people would be a lot more out and proud incoming than we were as incoming freshmen. So I was a leader that was kind of like showing kids here's what to do, here's where to go out, like blah, blah, blah. And also if you want to check in with me, we'll keep that kind of relationship alive. And I eventually had some kids that just started calling me mama. Like, that's Ricky. Ricky takes care of all of us. Like, I would take the kids out to like the clubs. I would show them where to go. I would make sure they got home okay. And that was my MO. And it translated to here, where like I started amassing what's called daughters, and they're grown men that are in their 30s. And I would basically just, it wasn't like something that I was like, oh, I have to go take care of this person. It was just kind of like, I see that there's a relationship here where this person doesn't have a lot of like street smarts in the same way that I do. So I'm just going to make sure that they have what they need. And, these friendships and relationships grow, and, people give and take what they can from relationships. And, I think that I give a lot of like, one of my love languages is just, acts of service. And, and so I try to just, be someone that provides for, whether it's space, whether it's opportunity, to other people. And so I think that is kind of how I do it in like outside of nightlife. But going into nightlife too, it's kind of interchangeable, because, queer culture, a lot of our gathering spaces, our temples, our places of like, not worship, but like just like where like exaltation is like on a dance floor, is at a bar, is out celebrating. We celebrate so hard. I wish people like knew that like people that like hate us, it's like we are not really even thinking about y'all. We are too caught up in ourselves just having a good time, and y'all are just hate us for so much. Like literally our entire passion is like literally we want to be together dancing to the latest track that has come out, and like enjoying each other's company. And yes, there are some, every aspect of society and every subgroup has like bad parts, but like how much do you ever hear about gay people behaving badly? You really don't.
You don't. You don't.
So, there's a reason we like women feel like we are safe spaces to come into, and other people feel that we're safe spaces to come into, because we are welcoming. We just want to celebrate. So I think that that's kind of like also how, like, there are mothers in nightlife. I have a mother in the city, Deja Smith, makeup artist to the stars and extraordinaire, like literally took me under her wing and, was like just an incredible spirit to me. And I've had, like, I call them gay uncles, and, my brothers and sisters that, like, literally they hold me up. Like, I'm not at the top of any kind of pyramid. I stand shoulder to shoulder with incredible souls that I've met since I've been here. And we just, like I said, we all pick each other up and make each other feel good. So that was a long answer, but it's also a bit of like herstory and education.
No, that's exactly what, like, I was getting to, or what I wanted you to get to, because, I mean, it's crazy how beautiful of, a spirit connection it is, and also how much people need it. And I have been around that so much, and I've seen it from you, and I've seen it from other people. Like, I get it, and I understand that struggle, and I think that's something like a lot of minorities can relate to, right? Like, in terms of like having that community, having those people that pick you up and trailblaze for you, right? I think that's something really important in like the minority community as well. And I think it's just beautiful work that you're doing, and I do it with youth. Yes. Right, like I do it with the youth kids, and like trying to blaze a trail for them, in terms of growth and mindset, and connecting with your body and your mind and your spirit, and making correct decisions or better decisions, right, in this world. So I think that's really beautiful. So I love you. I love you for that.
I love you too. And I think you've always been somebody that's like, Kyle has seen me at various states of.
I got to play mother the last time I was in this. The last time I was in this apartment, I got to play mother for you.
It was my birthday, and I was given the hall pass of being very, very drunk. So, man, I appreciate you like helping to make sure that I got home okay.
I got to walk you home.
It was very sweet. It was very, very sweet. And I was like, I woke up next morning and be like, how did I get here?
I remember that. I remember that. You're like, what happened? Was everything okay when we got up? Yeah, we're good. We walked you in.
Yeah. It was a night.
Where did we go that night after the celebration? What was the name of the place you go there?
Glass House Tavern.
Glass House Tavern.
Yeah, we started there, and then
we went to a couple places that I had never been to.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Oh, okay. I thought you might remember a little bit.
I mean, I remember being in spaces with strobing lights and music, but I couldn't tell you where we went.
What's your favorite like spot to go to right now?
I think it is kind of like Glass House Tavern. As far as like, I mean, I've kind of crossed into this. I go in seasons. So, like, I call January 1st to Memorial Day my off season, and Memorial Day to December 31st the on season.
That makes sense.
So, technically, I'm like, the off season means just like less like going out to like the big clubs and stuff like that. I hate Coat Check. Coat Check. You are some of our strongest soldiers out there, but like we need to develop efficient systems with these parties, because going to certain parties, which I will not name because I want to still get in there. You got a Coat Check line that's 45 minutes long, baby, before midnight, 45. So I just, say I'm going to protect my peace and do that, because people like to play this game of like, well, don't show up in a coat and then get inside. And then that same day that I decide, oh, maybe I'll do this, it's going to be 15 degrees. And then I know that like my Uber picking me up is going to cancel like 2 feet away. And then I'm going to have to stand outside for another 30 minutes. And then I'm sick. So I don't go out as much. I do prefer like going to a bar, being with friends, having like a couple martinis, everybody kind of chilling, talking. I love conversation.
Yeah.
And then, once it warms up, tops are off. We're like outside, shaking titties.
Facts.
Like, let's go. So, but like, so I love a Glass House. I love like I love a little wine bar. I love all that stuff. I try to patron the bars up and down, the neighborhood, and like Hell's Kitchen and down in the Village. We're not as many anymore. I go out to Brooklyn. I go and support the girls out there. Show up. I was just in Brooklyn last week, and for a couple of engagements. But also, when it's cold, I'm tired. When it's cold, I'm tired.
Yeah.
So I'll be in the house or just like at a show. That's my favorite place. My favorite place is Broadway.
Yeah, that's true.
We hinted at it before, and I love live performance.
Yep.
I think it teaches empathy. Like it's an incredible experience watching somebody else connect to words and movement and music. And when you see that and you get to experience it, you leave different. You leave changed. You leave better. You leave more informed. You leave exposed. You leave ready to share. And I don't take it for granted living in the neighborhood that I do. I will wake my ass up at 7 o'clock in the morning, go stand outside and rush tickets or play lotto or, play the lottery or I'll have
Broadway lottery, ticket lottery. Not the lottery.
If I lived in had the lottery, I wouldn't be living in a walk-up. So there's that. Yeah. But I love that. I love going to the opera. I love going to.
You do.
I'll go by myself and I'll just take in art appreciation. So that's my favorite thing to do. But it is nice when you go with somebody else and then you go to a bar that is you can just sit and you can discuss what you just witnessed. And, for better or worse, even if something's amazing, it's great. And if something's not amazing, you can discuss, what you enjoyed about it and what you think they could have improved.
Yeah. You go to a lot of shows.
I do. Yeah. I'm very fortunate. I feel very, very, very grateful. But also, I wake my ass up and I go stand outside in the cold to get tickets to some of these things.
Yeah. What's something recent that you just saw? Because I know that when was that? A couple days ago that you were at something?
I went to go see Titanic down in Union Square. It is a hilarious parody about the movie Titanic.
Oh, really?
It's a 90 to 100-minute show. But the premise is what would have happened. It's the story of Titanic, but what would have happened if Celine Dion was on board? And so it's all set to Celine Dion music. It is truly tremendous. I've seen it 5 times over the course of a few years. Okay. But that is good.
Where in Union Square?
You've been here for a while.
I lived on 14th Street on the corner of Union Square for 4.5 years.
I don't know the name of the theater, and I feel really bad for that. But it used to be where Fuerza Bruta it was. That
I don't know the building, but I had a friend that was in Fuerza Bruta.
Yeah, it's that building that's on the east side between 14th and 15th that has the columns, and
I love that building. I have pictures of that building.
Yeah,
there's photographs of it.
There's a theater in there.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I feel really bad that I don't know the name. I'm so sorry, considering I've been there 5 times for this show alone. But
interesting.
I'm not great with the theater names. I try my best. But let's see, on Broadway. I haven't seen it here yet, but the best thing that I've ever seen on a stage, top 3, is The Picture of Dorian Gray. I saw it twice in London, flew over twice to go see it. And it's on Broadway right now for about 12 weeks, I think. It's with Sarah Snook from Succession.
Yeah, she's really good.
It's a single person show.
Yes.
And she plays 26 characters.
Oh my God.
And it uses cameras on stage. It's something that people will be talking about forever, and it is just truly a revelation. And I'm trying to go before these ticket prices get too damn high because oh my God, it is so good. So if you can't see that I've seen my other things I love.
I gotta get there. I gotta see that one.
Maybe Happy Endings on Broadway right now. It's an all-original musical with Darren Criss. I've seen it 3 times. It's so special. It's so lovely. I've seen Sunset Boulevard 3 times with Nicole Scherzinger. Jamie Lloyd's stripped-down production of the show. Nicole gives some really spectacular vocals in it. It's very unique. It's very different. It's a performance that people are going to be talking about for a very long time. I've enjoyed it the more that I've seen it, a lot more. And then Death Becomes Her on Broadway, one of my favorite movies from the 90s, is now on Broadway, and it is hilarious. The 2 women are incredible. I hope that they keep casting. Once this cycle of these 2 powerhouses are done, I hope they cast 2 more incredible women in it, and it just keeps going forever and ever and ever.
Death Becomes Her. If you could be a character from any musical or any show that you've seen, who would you be? Let's ask 2 questions here. If you could be one, who would it be? And then the second question, double barrel, will be what character is closest to actually your personality, like who you are from a show.
You mean like if I could perform one role?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. If you could be a character, if you could perform whatever role, who would it be? What would it be?
Oh, I think that's tough. I mean, I think if I could perform one, if I was vocally gifted, which sadly I just wish, but God does not give with both hands. So I would. I mean, my favorite musical, just because it has the most special place in my heart, and with the timing of my coming out and everything, is Wicked. Obviously, that was the first national tour I ever saw. That was my graduation song was For Good. Like it was the first show I saw when Broadway came back. I would love to be literally anything in that show. Just it's so special to me. And like I'm happy with the movie obviously, but like that Broadway experience was just one that was like just changed my life.
Yeah.
Who is the most like me?
Yeah. Is there any character role that you were like, holy fuck, that's me. That's me.
My mind went one way, but I don't know. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure.
Beyonce.
Well, yeah.
Beyonce is the answer.
Yeah. I mean, who I think it's like who you think you are in your head, and then who you really are. It's like, yeah. I mean, she's amazing. I could go on. We could do a whole podcast.
You think we're not going to talk about it?
We could start.
You think we're not going to talk about
September
Beyonce?
4th, 1981. Like, let's start back at the beginning. No, I don't know as far as like a performance that like I feel like that's really me, but like I see myself in a lot of different characters, and I think that, and that's why I'm like endeared to certain shows, like especially Maybe Happy Ending. There is like an amalgamation of the two main characters in there that I kind of see like a purer side of myself in, but then there's like some shows that have had some like dark shit in them that I'm just like, ooh, that's kind of like me. Like I saw Sarah Paulson's Appropriate, where there's this one, she plays this kind of like vindictive sister, and I'm not vindictive, and this would not be towards my family, but like sometimes there are parts of me that feel like I've been wronged, and I want to just kind of air somebody else out. And I was like, ooh, I can see a little bit of myself in that character, and I kind of really like it. But it's not like a total encapsulation. So I think what I do is I try to relate and try to humanize them to me. And I think that's, again, one of the reasons I love theater and performance so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Can we talk about Beyonce a little bit?
Speaking of why I love performance.
Yes. I mean, we need to. I mean, you took me to go see her movie, The Renaissance.
We rented out an entire theater for that.
That was fire. I am not going to lie. I was not a Beyonce fan. Like, I like some of her songs. Not a fan of her. I wasn't a fan. Not that I didn't like her music or some of her music.
You just weren't investing like the rest of us.
Of course. But when her Renaissance, that's the name of the album that came out, right?
Yep.
Like the house music album.
See.
I mean, fucking amazing. Like, honestly, it's ridiculous. But who didn't think she was going to put out like a good, she has everybody at her fingertips, you know what I mean? So it was amazing. Honey Dijon, obviously. But the experience of seeing the movie, seeing her journey, seeing how much work was put into it, the fucking production level, ridiculous. And I have so much more respect for her after seeing that. So I'm actually really glad you brought me there. That was a dope experience.
I'm glad you came. Like it was one of those things. Like I softball movie ideas to Kyle all the time. I'm just like, you want to go into this?
You do.
Like, you want to go to this? I was just like
just high pitch. You're high pitch softball.
We've seen some heavy stuff. Like
Is he gonna hit it?
I'll never forget you and me finishing Anatomy of a Fall. My favorite movie of that year.
So great.
What an incredible film.
So great.
But pivoting back to Beyonce, as all things in my life tend to do, I have an entire group chat. I have 2 group chats. 3. I need to actually have 4 if you know why 4. I need to have 4 group chats dedicated to her, but I have 3 right now that are just completely dedicated to all things regarding her.
If you know why 4, why 4?
Her favorite number is 4.
Ooh,
Yeah. I do get laid, so I'm not that much of a nerd. What was I gonna say? No, I think what really did it for me was I grew up in the '90s, watched TRL, saw the original videos, and was just like, oh, I really like them. I hope they stick around. Talking about Destiny's Child, and then I saw her rise, and I remember being in Las Vegas in high school, and Crazy in Love came out that summer of 2003, and it was just like it was always on the radio, and I just associate that movie with heat because it was in the summer, it was hot as hell, but it was just like, yeah, like this is like a great sound, blah blah blah. And then by the time college came around, I was like in my dorm room, like watching her videos drop and all this stuff, and I just developed an appreciation for her craft. I think it was just like so fine tuned, and as I'm getting older, I start to appreciate her more vocally. I start to appreciate more of the production. I think she's like just executing things like on a level and with a budget that you want to see your artists do. Like if you're going to put something out there, I want to see it be Olympic level. And she constantly kind of delivers that. And people are always just like, oh, she's inauthentic. Oh, she has so many people like around her that are contributing. I'm just like, yeah, have you ever watched a movie? What does a director do? A great director assembles the best people possible. They assemble everybody around them to achieve the best possible thing. So, like, if Beyonce is going to put together the best possible album she can, she's going to Christopher Nolan that stuff.
Absolutely.
That's for all you straight white people out there. She's going to assemble a team like the fucking Avengers, and she's going to give you, like, the best possible product. And I don't...
It's for the Christopher Nolan, for the white boys.
There you go. So I've always just been an admirer of that, but, like, the thing is, what you got to see in that film is that she's involved in every element of it. And then not only behind the scenes involved, then she gets on stage and does that. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, who else is giving you an 8 count like that at 42, 43? Who else is like really giving you those vocals at that same age that has sounded like that consistently throughout her career? She's an incredible artist, and it's an incredible production process. Yes, I do love other people, and I do think that there are other people that are better in more siloed areas of like somebody's a better singer, somebody is a better dancer. But the overall production value of everything is like watching an Olympics. It's like watching your Christopher Nolan film. It's like watching just something that is so big budget and massive and impressive that you're just like, this is what I want to see. And she delivers it. And on top of it all, she seems like a very humble person that keeps herself out of nonsense. And it's like, I don't need her tweeting. I don't need her talking to us. I don't want to hear from most celebrities. Most of them aren't intelligent. They spent most of their high school years developing music and going off. Their words, I mean, some of them have now the time and they've done the reading and all that stuff, but some of them lives in such a little bubble that you're not really relating to people that are out here in the struggle.
Yeah.
And so, be the fantasy. Give us the bread and circuses. Go over and like not to say that you don't have to connect to real life things. Obviously, like, you are a person at the end of the day, but some people are so privileged that it's just like, maybe sit this one out. And I'm kind of glad that she just chooses to inject herself in these big sweeping stances of like, yeah, I'm actually going to vote for Kamala, and here is why. Because I'm a mother. I I believe in women's rights. I've always platformed women's rights. She's like, so her, say that, whatever. I'm not going to begrudge somebody for like having those big swings. But when it comes down to the minutia, we don't really need celebrity opinions on every little thing. So that's a little bit of a tangent, but I think she's great. She's entertaining, and it's just pure fun at the end of the day watching her achieve greatness.
Yeah, super great for sure. Like, I'm enjoying everything more that she does as well, and people just continue to hate on her. But I want to kind of talk about where this I don't want to say it like fandom, but like, and this isn't in regards to her, but like, where does your celebrity, so much about celebrities, like you're very in tune with obviously the entertainment industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of world, like, where does that kind of come from? Or like, what do you enjoy about that as well? Because you know a lot about a lot of people. You do, and you know like history and a lot of like backstory on a lot of people. And every time I'm around you, I'm hearing something new about another name or somebody who's coming up in the game or a legend and stuff like that. So like, what keeps you excited about that, and like where does that come from?
That's a great question. I think I've always just loved people. I've always, ever since I was a little chubby kid, I was always like trying to be in the kitchen with the women, cooking, hearing the gossip, trying to find out what was what, so I could be able to ID somebody and like know what they were talking about. I've been inquisitive by nature. I really genuinely love people, and I think my thing is I also just appreciate talent in any regard, like athleticism, just sheer genius, musically, artistic expression. I've always just been drawn to that. I think it's just really cool because I have my own gifts and abilities, but like I always think that when somebody like truly excels at that, it's like a marvel. It's like you're witnessing a genuine phenomenon of somebody being exceptionally good at something. So and then from there, I think I just kind of like do a little bit of investigation and like to be like, okay, well, who is this person? And like, do we have anything in common? And so I think like I also just read a lot. I grew up in the era when there was a lot of like shows about like Behind the Music and Diary.
Oh yeah, love Behind the Music
and Diary, and then I love the 80s and 90s where people did these cultural dissections of these people. So we grew up in a time where there wasn't as much access to things. You were given the access, and things were repeated. So oftentimes I'd have shows on repeat, like they would just replay, and I ended up knowing that like how TLC got gypped out of their money by Pebbles, or like why by Pebbles, their first producer that like literally like scammed them out of all their money.
Shit.
Or like,
what about your friend?
Exactly. And then like I just started like rewatching these things about the 80s and 90s and picking those things up. And then as I started to grow and go, I started to see that like, oh, like I just innately was just drawn and interested in. The age of the blogs kind of allowed for that kind of access to people, and we would hear about their personal lives, and it became kind of like more of a soap opera. And so I was kind of just inclined to kind of see what the ongoing kind of conflict or drama with them was. And so now it just becomes one of those things of like, it's part of like how I consume my media diet is like I read things on Twitter, mostly I've tried to like keep my algorithm to jokes and like to people that are making light of the things that are happening in society. But Elon's gone and fucked up that whole algorithm. So I get tons of like weird shit in there now, but I still get these fun critiques on commentary. Critiques on culture in there. And also now I kind of also listen to a lot of my friends' podcasts that do cultural roundups and talk about things in a way that like I also, like I was saying earlier, when I found out that I wasn't weird about like how I was regurgitating lines and stuff like that, I find it not weird to have some of my very dear friends talk about movies and talk about entertainment in the same way that I do. So listening to these people kind of just like keeps these things just kind of surface level, like on the brain. And that way when I'm out in the world and I'm interacting with these people in real life because of either work or just proximity in social environments, I'm able to kind of just like tap into something. Also, moving here and moving across the country away from everybody, I had to restart making friends. And so I made it a priority to just remember things about people that I would meet. And I prioritize the things that I would know about them and be able to be like, oh, you're this person and I remember this about you and then this and this. And so then we just continue the story. Mm-hmm. So I think that's kind of how it goes. It's twofold. Long answers. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's okay. No, not at all. They're not long. I mean, they're long, but like they're answers. They're not dragging.
I mean, I'm trying to give you the full picture.
You're not dragging it.
Okay, thank you.
You're not dragging it. But okay, we got to get to not a cultural celebrity moment. We got to get to a celebrity moment.
Oh, which one?
No. I don't know which one. That's what I'm gonna try to get out of you. Celebrity moment. We'll do a couple. Celebrity moment in nightlife, because this is a hospitality, nightlife, cultural-based show. Celebrity moment in nightlife.
Okay.
That has happened. Experience. And then we'll have one either in work or just regular day life, because you're around them a lot during work.
I'll give you 2. One in nightlife is.
Actually, hold on before you start going. Okay. Okay. Great. You good?
Great. Sorry, but something in my throat.
Now.
Yeah. Go now. Go now. Go now. Go now. Now. Don't use that. What was I going to say? A celebrity moment that happened in nightlife. I'll give you 2. One of them was, there used to be this party called Pretty Ugly at the Diamond Horseshoe, which is below the Paramount Hotel. It's now called Sony Hall. We started going to this party early on. It used to be this like dinner theater experience called Queen of the Night, where you would like have like a show, then a dinner, where you'd have to barter your food with other tables. It was very bizarre, but it was very cool because you'd be like, hey, I have some beef ribs. May I have some lobster? Or can I have some chicken? I have, this. It's like, I'll sell you my daughter for all your goats. It was very, very like your dowry. But then at the conclusion of that dinner theater experience on Saturday nights, what would happen was the whole place, they'd encourage you to get up and dance. They'd clear all the tables out and all the tables off the floor. And then there would just become a massive dance party. And then they start letting in people from the upstairs come on down. And my friends and I were very fortunate enough to we would get, one of our friends would buy bottles for us. And we would get this one table at the very front, right banquette. And we became friends with the general manager and everything. And then from there, they started sticking every celebrity that would come there at the banquette just directly across from us. So we saw everybody, but I got to see and meet on more than one occasion, and she was the best time. The coolest person was Kelly Ripa. Like, she would be there, and she would be partying with her gays, and she would see us, and she was just more than hospitable and more than great. And I have several pictures with her and everything, because like it was our section, and she was fantastic. But one that really kind of was like the crowning achievement of like nightlife and how that all works, a confluence of multiple events, was when I came here in 2008. I met this DJ named Javier. He used to DJ Javier worked at the Ritz and up and down 9th Avenue, and then also out in Fire Island. He was just the most welcoming person. Talk about like a mother in society. Like, literally like brought me under his wing and like just took care of me. And whenever I showed up at the Ritz, he would play a 20-minute like straight Beyonce medley for me and my friends to like perform to. Icon, legend, R.I.P. He passed away a couple years ago. What a great
Rest
guy.
in peace.
But he and I were both friends with this manager at the Diamond Horseshoe, for the same party that I was just telling you about.
Yeah.
Who texted us and was just like, Lady Gaga and Alexander Wang are throwing their Met Gala after party here. You need to come. And so I'm like, shit, what am I going to wear? And so I text my best friend, and I'm just like, we're going to the Met Gala after party. And so I was just like, we come home and we're like throwing things around and like putting together outfits. Javier and his friend, myself and my best friend Lewis, we all meet up and we go and we get like, we're told like, come wait in the lobby, and then we're going to get brought in through like the back entrance. And so we get brought in, and we're inside, and it's like people are starting to trickle in. Like, the gala is like, I think just concluding, and no one's there yet. And so as we're like inside, I look at Lewis and Javier, we're taking a couple pictures. I was like, I'm going to go to the bar. I'm going to get a drink. So I go see my friend who I see every Saturday and get like a couple of drinks, and I'm walking back, and like I have like the drinks in my hand and my phone in my other hand, and I'm like texting Lewis. I'm like, where the hell are you? And as I look up, I see the train, and I'm about to bump into somebody, and I look up, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I look, and it's Lady Gaga, and she's standing right there. And I was just like, hi. And she's like, hello. And I was just like, can I get a picture with you real quick? And she, I couldn't think, because I've never met her, and I've been a fan since 2008, and I've seen her like 7 times in concert. And that was just the first thing out of my mouth. And she was like, and her publicist goes, no. And she goes, it's fine. It's okay. And so Lewis picks up his phone and like takes the picture of us, and we have like a lovely, lovely photograph. And I am like, thank you so much. I go, congratulations on tonight. I hope you have a lovely time. And we walk away, and he was like, oh my God, I can't believe you got a picture of Gaga. And I'm like, great. I look over, and I see this guy who I know. Like, I'm just like, I know that face. And he was looking at me, and he's just kind of standing there in a suit, and he's like, Ricky? And I'm like, and his name, I'm like, should I be saying his name? That's fine.
If you don't say his last name, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. And is the husband of the woman who used to be my manager at Diesel on Fifth Avenue when I worked there.
Oh, wow, okay.
And so I'd seen him come into the store all the time, and like she and I were like super close. Yeah. And he was always sweet to me. And he's just like, what you doing here? I was just like, I don't know why I'm here. So he's like, you're good. I got you if you need anything. And I forgot that he was one of Gaga's security. So
he was doing security.
He was doing security for Gaga. So we're at like the point where like everybody's starting to come in and we're filling up, and then we're like dancing on the dance floor, and like suddenly like right next to me I see like Taraji and Janelle Monáe, and we're getting down. Like those two women were ready to dance, and Janelle can dance obviously, and so Taraji. So we're like cutting up, we're like taking pictures, we're having a good time, and one of them goes, "Ooh, it's hot," and I was like, "Well, let's go over here. I know we can come over here." So we go over, and sees us, and I'm just like, I got them. So we go into what's Gaga's area, but no one's in there. It's just being held.
Yeah.
And so Taraji and Gaga are like kind of like hanging out. I mean, Taraji and Janelle are like hanging out. We're taking some more pictures. We're having a good time, and they're like, "We'll be right back." So they go out to the dance floor, and now by this point, like the alcohol is really kicking in, and I like look over and I see like a bottle of champagne, and I'm just like, "Oh, I need a drink." So I go over.
Oh my God!
Like a moth to a flame. And so I go over and I like pop the champagne and we pour it, and all of a sudden like I looked back to my left and Gaga is standing over me, looking at me. She's like, "Hey, that's mine." And she goes, I go, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." She goes, "Scoot in." And so what? So she goes, "Scoot in." And what? And so from there, I'm deciding right now if I should say the next part of this story. We're taking pictures. We're having a good time. I'm just gonna go for it. I love you, Lady Gaga. I love you so much. And then like Gaga comes like this is rolling like the biggest blunt of weed like I have ever seen, and like she lights it, and I'm drunk, and I just look at her and I go, "Puff puff pass, bitch." And she like just goes,
"You are just going hard,"
and like hands it over, and we like hang out for a little bit longer, and then get up, and then I'm like, all right, it's time to go, and we take off and thank her, and she was so gracious and so nice, and that was like my first Met Gala after party.
Oh my God!
It was one for the fucking books.
Was this in the Boom Boom Room?
No, this is at Diamond Horseshoe.
Oh, you said Diamond Horseshoe. That's right. Yeah.
And I got like a couple. I have like pictures of that night that are just fucking insane. They're so great,
dude. That is crazy.
I really
that is
Gaga,
crazy.
I love
that
you.
Said that shit to her.
Oh my God! I couldn't believe it.
That you took her champagne.
I didn't know it was her. Well, I did. I think part of I didn't know.
I'm in a blocked off VIP area with a bottle of champagne, and it's not my area. I'll take that.
You'd be surprised. How many times have you seen me do the exact same thing?
That's ridiculous.
Just like, we could always get more champagne. Well, except for if these damn tariffs go through. But
holy shit.
That's that one.
Wow.
Let me see if there's one more. Because we might need to cut that one. Because I don't know if that's going to get me in trouble.
Why would that get you in trouble? With who? With what?
I don't know.
The Diamond Horseshoe?
No. Sony Hall. I haven't been there. I haven't heard that name in years. Let's see. I mean, I've met a lot of really fun people. And had like a lot of really, really good times. But that was 10 years ago. Gaga's a whole different person now.
Yeah, for sure. And I also know that she's just super cool, and she like really cut her teeth down in the Lower East Side, and like she's been in that scene, and she's kind of had that crazy little like nightlife aspect to her her side of the story and her music and everything like that. So I mean, I'm sure she was.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure she was like, "This motherfucker is crazy, but I'm gonna let it go." And
well, she literally was just like, "Scoot over," and I was just like, "All right, girl." And then like she took her hair out, and then her hair came down, and we were just like, we were having a good old time. It was one of those like moments for life, and I love you, Gaga, so much. Thank you for putting up with my drunk ass at 28 years old. Jesus Christ. We were like, I was maybe like a year older than her. That's so bizarre. So we were like the same age, just hanging out. But yeah, she's the global superstar, and I am somebody that's opening her champagne to drink. Lord and Taylor.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, like but New York nightlife is full of those fun experiences where, like, you know, you get to see people, and I think the whole thing is about being respectful, and you know, knowing how much is enough. You don't want to ever like crowd somebody out. People, because celebrities are people too. They want to have like a good time, and you know, they want to enjoy their space, and they want to, like, for instance, like the whole that was one of the things why like they kept putting people across from us at Diamond Horseshoe for that year that party went on, that it was like at its height, was because everybody that was in that area, all of us knew that's like, okay, they're just here to have a good time. Let's not like make them uncomfortable. Like everybody have like a real, like, just be respectful, be cool. And oftentimes they'd come over to us and be like, hey, who are you? Like, what's going on? And like just like, you know, being friendly, because I could see that it's like, we're not trying to like, but then once all of a sudden it just kind of vibes, it really vibes. So just, that's a lesson.
Yeah, I think it's like
early.
Yeah, I think it's like a particular thing with celebrities. Like, yeah, they're people first and foremost. A lot of them can be fake and like lean into the very like, you know, like, I'm very important type of person at, you know, at a party and stuff like that. But most of the time, especially in like situations like the Met Gala and stuff like that, those after parties, like, dude, that's a room just filled with a shitload of celebrities. So at that point, it's like, you're really not that important, because everyone in this room is important. You know? So
yeah, and it's like, it's really cool, because at that points like that, and like a lot of like kind of like a big after parties and stuff, people are just kind of looking to just like hang out, have a good time. Obviously, if you're in that space, like for parties like that, you've been invited to be there. So like it's different than it is like if they're out at like a general population kind of like event where it's like, okay, these are just, I don't know who these people are.
This is a good segue, because you're working in a form of hospitality with all the stuff that you do, right? Like, you're taking care of celebrities a lot of the time at these, well, like at some of the live, like the Emmys and like the VMAs, like the Super Bowl stuff. Like, what is that like, taking care of?
Oh, right, I brought you to the VMAs.
You brought me to the VMAs, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so like, what's that like from your perspective, so that people can like kind of hear that, like, with how much you're dealing with celebrities and organizing the things that they're going to be going to, or that, you know, what stage they're going to be on, or what seat they're going to be sitting at, like, in, like, can you just like, can I talk about that and like what that's kind of been like for you?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I work in collaboration with some amazing people. You know, always, I love the teams that I get to be put on, because I'm working with people that I trust, that I love, that are like, you know, the best at what they do, and they give me responsibility to, you know, contribute and manage and produce on these things. And so when it's stuff like that, when you're doing talent flow and logistics flow, you know, you are trying to make sure that, like, from soup to nuts, that everybody is comfortable, that everything's in order, everything is efficient, and, you know, and that if there is any kind of like hiccup or whatever, that you can triage it like on the spot. You have the tools. So like, oftentimes, like, you know, I feel very supported by the people, but like when we're bringing in, like, you know, big celebrities to these spaces, like when we're like somebody like Taylor Swift to the VMAs, and we have to keep it like under wraps for the whole time, you know, you're being very delicate about like who knows what and what happens. And then when they're there, you know, you're working with their team directly to make sure that they are, you know, comfortable, that you have everything kind of mapped out for where they need to go, if they need to go to the bathroom, or if they need to get out, or whatever. And then when you're there, you're just kind of ensuring that they're having like a good overall experience. You don't want to like babysit to the point where you are, helicoptering over them. But I think that my style of doing it, like for instance, like with Super Bowl, when we're doing talent flow, like the people that come to our show, NFL Honors, the celebrity presenters, one of the things that we offer them is access to our suite for the game. And so, I'm on a team of talent flow people that's led by our fearless leader, Jen. And what we do is we make sure that these people, that we're getting transportation there, that we're, taking care of any of their needs that they have, minding how they're going to get out and get home, and making sure that like they have everything they need for like their planes or planes, trains, automobiles, like, for when they need to depart from whatever city that we happen to be in. And so, the way that I like approach it is just, be very friendly, tell a couple jokes, have like a little bit of like, not like punch jokes, but just lighten the situation, break the tension, break the ice, and just make everybody feel comfortable. I think that is, again, the most important thing. Again, make them feel happy, make them feel comfortable, make them laugh if you can, and just literally leave them to their own devices. And again, if people need something, they'll come to you. Typically, is what I found.
Yeah, because watching, I mean, I know you had to deal with like a couple like troublesome people while we were at the.
Oh, I hate that motherfucker so much.
Who was that? Were they a celebrity?
No, no. There was the head of some network was not that, but just was very, very, very disrespectful to an entire team of people that was trying to make this experience go a lot smoother. Yeah, but eventually, everything settled itself out.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
I remember that. During that time, I was sitting in front of Lil Uzi Vert, hearing him just ramble about crazy shit. He was not happy to be there. Which was he was talking shit about the VMAs the entire time.
Well, that year, I mean, I love working on that show. It's a lot of fun. I think because it's like, there's not an insane amount of musical acts. Like there
was a lot though. That was like the 50th year, right? Or something like that, or 28.
You were close to 40. But the thing was, I have to hand it off to the people that do the Grammys, because there are so many musical acts and it's so big.
At the Grammys?
Like,
sorry.
Yeah, the Grammys is just such a big production. The VMAs in comparison is a lot like, it's smaller venue and everything. But the way that they had shaped that stage, I know just kind of frustrated some of the talent, because there were no like screens to kind of see one side of the stage or versus the other. Everybody has a good time, but like, I could see the frustrations about being like, I can't see anything like from all the way over there. Right. And so it's like, it's a fair complaint. Like, it's a very valid one. So, but
that was a weird setup for sure.
Yeah. But I think this last year, the way that they had it was really, really good. And and it worked out really, really well. This last year was a lot of fun with Megan Thee Stallion hosting. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I don't think I watched the entire thing.
You had Nikki. I think Nikki's first round.
I had Nikki. Yeah.
That was her first round, because she got the Video Vanguard that year, which was also great. She did a great job.
And guess who else performed? Guess who performed that year? Diddy.
Oh God.
Diddy got some Lifetime Achievement Award or some shit like that.
A year before it all blew up. Well, listen, we've all made mistakes, and that was not one that I was in charge of. So I'm talking about the mistakes of them giving him the award, not his accusation.
We've all made mistakes.
No, but
it's fine.
No, unfortunately, that is just something that is cemented in VMA history.
I mean, yeah, dude, it's the way it goes.
And probably scrubbed from the internet by now. I'm sure that they've taken it off their servers.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, that was an insane year.
Yeah,
it was a good time though. I love working that show. But yeah, again, I think to your question was just make people feel comfortable. Treat them like people. Again, that is a thing that like you realize when you're working with people that are like huge stars. They are just down to earth, really normal people that don't fuss all that often, because they've been doing this. They have the ultimate machine behind them.
Yeah, right.
They're just really, really super wanting just this to go as smoothly as possible for them, because they really want to just get in there, enjoy their time, and get out. it's oftentimes like smaller acts or whatever that are just a little bit more, not difficult, but just like have like more, I think they're just general anxiety about the whole thing because they're probably a little bit more green to the whole experience. So therefore they don't like, it's like when I was, like when I was at the Golden Globes, you have all these people that are megawatt stars. Everybody that presented, everybody there was a dream because it's just like, oh, you've just been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
Like you just have been, so like everybody comes in, knows how to do their marks, hit that, everything. And next thing you know, they're out, they had a good time, and they're on their way. Yeah. It's great. It's
super
great.
Cool. Is there any kind of event or series or what, television production that you haven't worked on that you want to work on?
I want to work on the Oscars. And I would actually love to work on the Emmys. Though I'm just such a fan of movies and television in such a massive way that like I just being a part of those two worlds would be a dream. I kind of got the hybrid of it, being able to work on the Golden Globes this year. Thank you, Jackie, for that assist for that job. But it's just like the Oscars are like the holy grail to work on that, and those people that have been working on that show have been working on it for years, and it's
Makes sense.
very, very like insular. But that or the Emmys would just be fun because I appreciate those art forms so much. I love music. Don't get me wrong. I'm a massive fan of music, but I've worked music shows. I've worked Billboard Awards. I've worked American Music Awards. I've worked VMAs. They are very intense behind the scenes, and so I don't think I'd ever want to work at Grammys. But I think it would be an honor. It would absolutely be an honor. But I just know how much work goes into it. It's just like those are long days. Those are very, very long days.
But you're already working. I mean, like on average, you're going like 16, 17-hour days.
Sometimes when it gets, sometimes there are some days where like as you get closer to show day, the days just start to lengthen and your call times get earlier. So like it's like get out, eat dinner, go to sleep, wake up. I like to work out before and then show up ready to go. So you can get like definitely 14-hour days, 50 hours. And then the show day is usually like a nice 18-hour day, 20-hour day. But again, it's a privilege to work. It's a fun thing. They're fun things to be on. I'm always so grateful and I just want to continue doing it. But Emmys, Oscars, and I want to do the Globes again. I have the bug, and it was so much fun. It was such a great time. And honestly, like to go see Nikki Glaser tear that house apart round 2.
She was amazing.
Incredible. I got when she came out and did her dress rehearsal, I was like, I had to put a hand over my mouth because I was like howling.
So good.
She's incredible, and she's the nicest person.
So freaking cool.
I got to meet her. Because she presented for us at NFL Honors, and then she came to the game afterwards, and she was just so gracious with her time, and I'm going to see her at the end of this month at the Beacon Theater. Yeah, she's got like a string of sold out dates, and we managed. My best friend and I got tickets before, so we're like super excited. So can't wait. She's a boss. She is such a boss.
Cool. So we're gonna get those Golden Globes, Emmys, and the Oscars.
Please.
Cool.
Please and thank you. Please and thank you. And then Graham Norton, I'm coming for you.
Oh, yes. Graham Norton. Cool. I love you, brother.
We're speaking it into the universe. I love you, too.
Fucking amazing. This was cool. This was fun.
This was amazing. Thank you so much. And one last time for good measure. I love you.
Cool. I love you, too.